Hi there guys, my name is Jacob and welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video I'm going to go through my July solar stats with you all, but before I do that I've got some pretty exciting news, and that is that both my mom and my brother are both going to get their own solar and battery systems installed after seeing the success and the benefits of my system. And I think that's really cool. The knock-on effect of me having solar has meant that both of them, who were very skeptical before I got this system installed, they've been able to see how my system works, the benefits of the system, the savings that I've been able to make, and the fact that I've basically got no energy bills anymore. Both of them, as I said, very skeptical before I had this installed. They have both contacted the same solar company that I used and have got themselves booked in for install, which I just think is brilliant. And, it makes it all worthwhile me getting the system now because, it has had a ripple effect on more people getting it, and that is just only a good thing. So I thought I would share that with you guys. Now, before I get into my July solar stats, I'm just going to break down my system for anybody who has not seen the channel before. So my system consists of 13 440 watt solar panels, all fitted with Optimisers. I have one GivEnergy 5 kilowatt hybrid inverter, and that is a generation 3 model, and I also have one 9.5 kilowatt battery, and again that is a generation 3 model. I also have a GivEnergy EV charger that I had done at the same time, and all of that package cost me £9,000. So for anybody wondering how much it cost and what the system is, there you go. But for anyone who has watched the channel before, you will know that already. And a question that I get asked often on the channel is, what tariffs am I on for my solar? So again, I'll just go through that quickly. For my import from the grid, I am on Octopus Go, and that is an EV tariff, although I actually don't have an EV at the moment, but that's a story for another day. I'm on Octopus Go. That allows me to charge my batteries overnight at a rate of 8.5 pence per kilowatt hour. It's got quite an expensive day rate, but as I said, because I have solar and a battery, I don't ever use the day rate. I just charge my battery overnight on a cheap rate, and Octopus Go has worked out to be a very good tariff. For my export, I am on a tariff called Outgoing Octopus, and that pays me just a flat rate of 15 pence per kilowatt hour that I send to the grid. And again, that has worked out at, a really fantastic rate, I think. There are a couple of other tariffs on the market, I believe. I think one with Eon at the moment that pays slightly more, around 16 pence per kilowatt hour for export. But, each to their own. I have been a real fan of Octopus for a long time. I've been with them, I would say now, probably 5 or 6 years. Never had a problem. I think their customer service is, top notch, probably the best out of all energy companies. And for that reason, I have no, reason to want to switch really. Even if I could achieve a little bit better of an export rate, it isn't really enough to make me want to move. But if you would like to switch to Octopus, if you're with somebody else and you think those kind of tariffs might appeal to yourself, then in the description box of this video, which is just down below, I have a referral link to Octopus, and if you use that link, I'll get £50 and you'll get £50. So it's a really good referral link to use, and as I say, we share £100 in total. So if you'd like to do that, and please consider using my link, and I will be very grateful if you do. Right then, let's get into July's stats. So total month's generation was 718.6 kilowatt hours. Now that was down roughly 10% or so from the month before, month of June. June was 779. So as I said, down around 10%, which I gotta say, to me, that was quite surprising. But I believe we had a really good first half to the month. I think the first kind of 15, 16 days were phenomenal. However, the generation dropped off quite dramatically after then, and it never really picked back up. I think the last few days of the month were pretty good, but on the whole, it was a pretty, lopsided month. As I said, started off really well and ended pretty poorly. So that is why I think that we had a lot less generation, roughly 10% less. So that was a big surprise to me, because I thought July would be almost on par with June, but that was not to be. Now, the best day of the month, as I said, it did pick up at the end of July, because my best day was the 30th of July. And that worked out to be 37.6 kilowatt hours. Now, that is not far off my very best day. And I think my best day so far was roughly 38.6. So that was roughly 1 kilowatt off being a best day. However, my worst day for the month was the 22nd of July. And that worst day was 8.96 kilowatt hours. So, a drastic change to the 37.6 that was the best day. Now, last month's worst day was 13.1. So, July's worst day was, again, significantly less than June's worst day. Now, as I said previously, all my panels are fitted with Optimisers. And for the month of July, my Optimisers managed to save me 9.3 kilowatt hours that would have ultimately just been lost. So that's a nice little saving. Now, I mentioned before that my total generation predicted by my supplier was 4,500 kilowatt hours for the year. But so far, up to the end of July, I am already at 3.8, so 3,800 kilowatt hours. So by my reckoning, I think I'm definitely going to surpass their prediction. And I think I will actually top 5,000 kilowatt hours. Obviously that is dependent on some good weather coming for August and hopefully September. But I think it's definitely possible. So, we'll have to keep an eye on that. But like I said, we're up to 3.8 megawatts so far this year, which I think is pretty impressive. Now, moving on to my costs for the month of July. My electricity costs, including the standing charge, were £22.21. And that is for, as I said, the standing charge, but also for me importing from the grid 74 kilowatt hours at the 8.5 pence per kilowatt hour rate. Gas bill for the month was incredibly low. As I've mentioned before, we only really use gas just to heat water for, hot water out the tap and the shower. And again, this includes the standing charge, but the gas bill for the month was £12.75. Export income, which is always the exciting one for every month. Export income was down this month. And again, that is obviously because our generation was down. However, export income for the month of July was £89.34. And that was for exporting 595.6 kilowatt hours to the grid. Now, to compare this month's export with last month's export, this month's, as I said, was £89.34. However, last month's was £103.91. So a bit of a difference in export, but as I said, our generation was lower, so you would expect that our export income is lower. So if we do the calculations and we take the export income and we minus off the electric and the gas bill, then we get a total of £54.38. So that would be credited to my Octopus account. So that is a profit basically of £54.38 for the month. So as the end of July marks 6 full months of having this system installed, and 6 full months of generation and export, I thought I'd add on just a little stat at the end of this video that I haven't included in previous videos, and that is a breakdown of my total export income, minusing off the costs, and see how much profit I have made so far this year from having this system installed. So, total exported generation for 2025 works out as 3,652 kilowatt hours, and that is for a value of £547.87. Now, if we take off my electric charge of 185.72 and take off my gas charge of 175.91, we get a total profit for the year so far, so 6 months of the year, total profit £186.24. So that is, for me, 0 energy bills for the entire year so far and a profit of £186.24, which I have to say I am incredibly proud of. I think it's fantastic that I've managed to go 6 full months of the year, no energy bill, and I'm actually coming out with, spare cash left over that, as I mentioned before, I can withdraw that from my energy account, or I can leave it on there as a credit. And come winter time, when I turn the central heating on, that credit can just be burnt through and basically pay for my winter heating. So there we have it, guys. That is July's solar stats for my system. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below what your own solar generation stats were for the month of July, because I know a lot of you who watch this channel have got your own solar systems, and it's always great just to compare, where different people are in the country or even in the world. There's a lot of people who watch from different countries, and it's just interesting to compare your stats with my stats. I always love to see that. So, let me know down in the comments below. And if you would like to help the channel, there are a few links in the description box below. There's a Buy Me a Coffee link. As I mentioned earlier, there's an Octopus referral link. And there's even a Smarty mobile link now. So if you're looking for a SIM-only plan, hit that link and you can get yourself a £20 or £30 gift card just for signing up using my referral link. Right then, guys, I will leave it there. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and the subscribe button. And guys, I'll catch you in the next one.